Do you want to know how to actually be happy? Because I'll tell you, society has got it all wrong. I'm going to go through that in this episode.
You're listening to the Dynamic Women podcast. Each week, you'll be inspired by our global community of women. They'll share with you tools and stories to help you be dynamic in every area of life. Here's your host, award-winning coach, and the CEO and founder of Dynamic Women, Diane Rolston.
Hello, lovely dynamic women. I am Diane Rolston. I am your host of the Dynamic Women podcast. And yes, today I'm going to talk more about how to live a happy life. Now, first off, you may be thinking, who says I'm not happy? I'm totally happy in my life. Well, what I see in my clients or when people come up to me at the end of an event that I've been speaking at is that people say, man, Diane, I felt like you were talking directly to me. And the thing is, I was sharing a story about how I was so successful. You know, I could check all the boxes off. I had everything that society thought that I should have, that maybe we're brought up to believe constitutes someone being successful. And yet I didn't understand why every single night I was coming home, reaching for the wine, snack foods. I felt like I didn't have energy. I felt like something was missing and I just couldn't pinpoint it. Now, this was also before my coaching days, and so I didn't have that insight knowledge, but I was thinking something's wrong with me. Why am I so tired all the time? Is this just what becoming 30 looks like? We're getting closer to 30. I just didn't know what it was. And I was trying to think like, must be something with my engagement. It must be something in me. I was looking at all these external things and I was like, how can I even complain to anyone? Because I've got an amazing job and a great fiance and a loving family. I was living in a beautiful place. And how could I even complain? How could I even consider myself unhappy? Well, I wasn't. And so when I share a story about this, people say, wow, I really resonated with that. And so maybe you are having those feelings of like something's missing, or you're yearning for something, or you maybe have anxiety, or your brain is spinning and you can't make decisions. See, happiness really comes from a different place. And society teaches us that to be successful, we must be achieving. We must be acquiring, and we must be moving up in the world, whatever that means for you. But measuring life according to success, it's not the path to happiness. I know, because I tried this. I was like, okay, but by this age, I'll have done this, and in school I have to do this, and I'm going to graduate with honors, and I'm going to go to university, and check, and I'm going to find a guy, and we're going to get engaged, and we're going to look for houses, and I'm going to have a great job, and check. And I couldn't figure out why I wasn't happy. I was doing everything that was told to me to do. Or I was doing the things that weren't told to me, but I saw in society that people were being praised for it. Even going to university wasn't a decision I made. It was, you're going to university, which one? And so even now that I'm a coach and I coach others, what I find is uber successful people, high achievers, even when I coached millionaires, they can check off everything, every box in the definition of what success is. But like me, they're not happy. Now, I'm not saying that everyone who has lots of stuff or has a great job or has lots of success isn't happy. I'm not saying that. But I'm saying that the people who come to me, the female business leaders, the busy moms, the high achievers, there's a part of them that is yearning for more. See, the problem is that with achievement and acquiring and focusing on success, it feels fleeting because it's surface level happiness, and we're only happy in the moment that it actually happens. You get the new car, you're happy with it, new car smell, starts to fade, and then it's what's the next thing? And even when we get that promotion or we have a really great achievement in our lives, most people don't even celebrate that success, which means we have an even smaller benefit to focusing on it. So what's the solution, you ask? Well, the funny thing is the solution was the same for me as it was for the millionaires, as it was for the moms, as it was for the female business leaders and entrepreneurs. It's the same. It's always been the same. And I just think I need to stop for a moment. You may be thinking like, how could a millionaire not be happy? If they're a multi-millionaire, they have everything. They could buy everything. So let me just share a story. When I started coaching, very, very beginning, early days, I was still in certification and I was also coaching people on the side. And so I put an ad up on Craigslist, not even an ad, just a post, just offering my services. And someone reached out to me from a different province, and I'm going to keep, some of the details out of this just for confidentiality. So someone in another province reached out to me and they said that they had just spent 5 years building up a business and they'd sold it for a good amount of money and they didn't know what to do now. So upon some further Googling, because I always Google people's names because I figure if I'm going to go into this and work with someone, that it's better that I know as much as I can know about them so that when we start working together, it's just easier. And so I found out that they actually sold their business with their two friends for $75 million. Wow, eh? Yeah. So their cut was $25 million and they were only around like 30 something years old, early 30s. And so when we actually talked, it was, I don't know what to do because this was my big goal. So that was the success goal, but I'm just not happy. And so we got him some clarity on what to focus on and we got him feeling really confident about these next steps and then got him into action. So what's the solution for you? Well, it's the same as that I did with this client. I do with every client that I work with. The solution is to focus on what we really want in each area of life. So each area of life, you ask? Well, in coaching, I work with the professional coaching tool called the Wheel of Life. And my personal version that I use with my clients has actually 10 areas of life. So you take the 10 areas and you really got to figure out how to measure your progress and satisfaction in those areas. Why? Well, this is going to lead to a deeper, more meaningful happiness because it's based on our true desires, our true needs, our true wants. And a life built and measured with satisfaction in mind, it really helps us to make the right choices, to align ourselves with the right people, to set the right boundaries with them, and to put our time, our energy, and our money into the right things. So the first question you need to ask yourself is, what do you want? What do you want? Well, this is often the hardest question that my clients need to answer. This multi-millionaire, that was a hard question. He thought he knew what he wanted and it had changed. So the key is to answer it from a place of what's ideal for me and not be restricted by reality or limiting beliefs. And that's where having a coach comes in. And not just any coach, a trained coach, a certified coach. Because as Les Brown said, you can't see the picture when you're in the frame. You need someone else to take you through this, to help you to not be restricted by reality, to not have your limiting beliefs or your saboteurs jump in and take over. So we use the tool to give you a 360 view of your life and a bird's eye view of your life. And what I find in working with female business leaders is that they have a business or a career plan, but no life plan. So we create a dynamic life blueprint with their happiness in mind. So they have that life plan to actually follow. You know what the cool thing is about really focusing on satisfaction rather than success and using that to measure? Is that when you do it, you're actually going to be working towards the life you truly want. And it will still bring you the success. And the great thing is this type of success that it's going to bring you is going to be longer lasting. Now, this is actually what I cover in the Dynamic Balance program. That's going to be opening up again in the fall. For those of you who are interested in creating your own dynamic life blueprint, you can message my team because we're going to be starting a wait list on that. Email my team at team@DianeRolston.com and just say it. I want into Dynamic Balance, or I want more info about Dynamic Balance. You can also go to my website and search for it. So when you have a dynamic life blueprint, when you are measuring life according to satisfaction, things feel easier. You'll feel like you have more energy. You'll feel more happiness. And if you want to do this one-on-one with me, that's also what I do with my clients, is really getting that clarity on what is it that you want and what is it that you need and what's ideal. So as I kind of wrap up, this week is a little bit shorter one because the message is very clear. The message doesn't need a lot of fluff. So it's basically Stop measuring your life according to society's standards of success, and instead measure it according to happiness. Measure it according to your satisfaction, because if you do, you get to have happiness now. You also get to have happiness tomorrow and every single day on the way to success, so that when success does come, it's longer lasting, it's deeper, it's more meaningful, and that cycle just continues on of every day feeling happy and successful. That's my wish for you. If you know someone that needs to hear this message, who's maybe measuring their life according to success or comparing themselves to others, please do so. Make sure you hit subscribe. And I know that next week I got another amazing interview that I'm going to share with you. You don't want to miss that. Until next time, stay dynamic. Bye.
Thank you, Dynamic Women, for joining us today. Please hop on over to iTunes to subscribe and leave us a review. Who do you know who needs to hear our message? We'd love it if you'd share our channel with your friends and family. If you're ready to be more dynamic, have more balance and more success, head over to www.dynamicwomenclub.com/free gift for your Key to Success book. Stay dynamic.